Welcome back to Let's Play Legend of Grimrock. I already recorded this episode, and unfortunately I then noticed that there were a whole bunch of issues with it, along with the fact that it took me forever, because this next level is just all sorts of fun. As for anything, it's super late. I was watching Critical Role went super late. So I will go back and find any I will go back and find any secrets in the armory that like maybe I missed in a different episode, but it's not going to be this one. I am just going to try for this episode to get back to where I got to. So here's something I learned. And yes, I did have to look this up. So the first thing I said in the video that is now lost was I looked at this and I said it's very strange that they introduce a new texture, this far in the game. And I stand by that. I figured the texture meant something. I was not aware that it meant that. There is not a single interaction in this game, up until this point, where you can do something like that. Why they would do it now, I have no idea. And I spent about 5 minutes looking for a button for this room, because I knew there had to be one, and take a wild guess of where it is. Hey, crit. Okay. And yes, this man drops a key. As for what's in here, there's some items and like some weird scrolls. But these scrolls don't actually say much. It says 2 times left she slithers, once right, once left, 3 times right, and twice more left. Then she repeats twice. And then the other one says, is that it? I don't know, man. And then there's this room. So, all this text says is Checkered Rooms. Seems pretty self-explanatory. I thought it was pretty self-explanatory. Until I came to the realization that I don't know in which way it's checkered. Because, you could checker this, And as I learned, the internet didn't really know how it was checkered either. Let's just say the guides for how to handle this were faulty at best. One of them didn't even have the right amount of tiles. It was like, yeah, there's 9 tiles. I was like, well, that's a lie. Oh my god, I did it wrong again. Yeah, I did. I did it wrong. I did it totally wrong. Open, closed, open. There we go. So yes, Checkered Room, and this is your hint. This is the Checkered Room. Don't let it fool you. That's your huge hint. Your huge guiding, whatever. Can I hit this? Just, God damn. Yeah. So there's that. I spent way too long in that room. And it led me to talk about something that I've wanted to talk about for a while with this game. But I always thought I would save it towards the end, but after that puzzle, I really feel compelled to talk about it. Especially, oh damn it, there's a tile here that turns you, and I believe it's this one. Yes. Spin. And then there's another one, though. There it is. Spin. Why? I don't know, dude. What was in this door that I passed? Okay. What was... Did I actually go in this door in this episode? Armory. I actually don't know if I did. Huh. But anyway. Oh, yes, I totally did. I was in here. Something I want to talk about. So it's... Wow, that was 114 damage. Yeah, Dallin just randomly seems to be hitting triple digits with little to no explanation. Anyway. Obviously, if you somehow hadn't noticed, this entire game... There we go. Is a pretty big call-out to games like this of the past. Again, if you somehow hadn't noticed. Here's my issue with that. The world used to be pretty different. Games were much smaller and needed to be made in ways that they kept your attention for a long time. And also he can now wear this heavy armor that we're about to pick up. Were also meant to be made in a way that kept your attention for a long time. Because it had to keep your attention for a long time. And not only did it have to keep your attention for a long time, it was also a matter of getting as much playtime as possible out of what was really very limited space that they had to actually make the game with. This is back in the 90s and whatnot. Which is why, basically, that need to sort of pad out the game really led to the creation of Moon Logic. Because Moon Logic was expressly created for the purpose of being so obscenely hard that you had to do one of two things. Call in to the hint line that the game developer probably had set up, where you had to pay, you know, a couple cents to speak on the phone with somebody who did know what they were doing. What is he doing? What? See, and you would pay to speak to someone that did know what they were doing. Or you just had to take forever to finish it, as you desperately likely attempted to figure... How did it get behind me? What? Where did it come from? They don't connect. The walls don't connect. I was down this hallway. What? Oh, hello. Oh my god, she's hungry. Really cool. Anyway, video games were made the way... This thing dropped a key? Were made the way they were for the express purpose of getting you to play as long as you could on a game that probably did not have enough in it physically to actually warrant your attention for that long. That was the whole point of making games like that back in that day. And it's what you had to do because you were dealing with megabytes instead of gigabytes. And it worked for that purpose. You know, when you used to make puzzles with zero explanation, you know, it worked for that purpose. And it really would keep people playing because, you know, are they impossible? No. Are they Are they incredibly difficult? Yeah, especially with, again, a lot of them, zero indicate. Like I said, this is the Checkered Room. Yeah, that does a whole lot for me. That really, you know, no indication on how it should be checkered. And you might say, ooh, well, you know, this is kind of a weird example to bring this up with because there's only two ways the room could have been checkered. That's fine. But then you start thinking, is there a button I'm missing? Is there XYZ? Is there, you know, you start thinking about that sort of stuff. And that was what those games wanted you to do. It was frustrating, but you had to deal with it or pay money. That's not the case anymore. There's this thing called the internet. Like, it's not fun. It's not gratifying to sit here and be like, oh, I really like this stuff with zero guidance, with zero indication of what to do. It's really cool. I really enjoy it. Because there is no gratification, because what are you going to do if you're a sane individual and you get handed some of these puzzles? What are you going to do? Are you really going to sit there and you're going to spend, you know, however long trying to figure it out, or are you just going to go on the internet like a normal person? Like, I can understand, and I am all for nostalgia. I love nostalgia. But there also comes a point where you should probably say, hey, the game's probably better without that. Like, that's definitely a product of an age gone by. We should just cut that. We'll put in some, you know, like I said, I enjoy difficult puzzles. I have no issue with taking a little longer to figure out a puzzle. You know, even if it means I gotta cut up the video or whatever, you know, I don't have an issue with that. I like figuring. There's a button there. I'm not gonna push it out of fear of so many more of these bastards. You know, I like figuring out puzzles that feel like they gave me a chance. Again, saying the room is checkered and then dipping really doesn't do a whole lot for anybody. Most, you know, importantly me. So it's just frustrating, man. It's like puzzles really shouldn't be designed like this anymore because there's just no reason for them to be designed like this. You know, there was a time when it made sense for puzzles to be designed like this, where, you know, you had to look in every single little nook and cranny, whatever. There was a time for that. That time is long gone. Even in a nostalgic sense, it's just not something that should be done. It's, you know, and it's sad because I really enjoy this game. I love the aesthetic. I actually even really like the premise, even if it's pretty vague. You know, this idea of like being tossed into this mountain, this trial for whatever your indiscretions are, whoever decided they were your indiscretions, you know. Like, I really like that concept. That's 105 damage. But man, these puzzles have been kind of rough, not gonna lie. And not rough in the sense that they're hard. Like I said, nothing wrong with hard puzzles, but I like a little guidance. It's just, you know, I like an inkling of what to do. Like I said, there was that puzzle with the portals where you had to find 2 random buttons on the wall. It's like, okay, well, why, if you're showing me all these portals, why would you make it unsolvable? It's like, it's just, like, it's not the first time they've done this. It's just like, oh, it's just frustrating. And I'm going to stop there because I want to save it. I'll talk about this more. Probably in the last episode. I'll talk about it at the credits more. But, like, man, I love so much of what this game does, but it's like these puzzles are straight out of the 90s in all the worst ways, man. But anyway, this is about where I got to, I believe. So that's where I'm going to end this episode. Thank you so much for watching. And coming to my TED Talk, I suppose. And I will see you in the next one. I really need to get around to giving these flasks to Core, because they're just more important on him. Where are all my flasks? Are they in a bag somewhere? Oh, okay. That makes sense. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.